Library?
I started working in the Mellon Library in 1975.
Okay.
That's a long time ago.
I wasn't born yet. Some students would speculate that there has been a decrease in the general usage of the library since then. What are your thoughts?
Well, it depends on how you measure usage. Some time ago, if you wanted to use library resources, you had to come to the library because they were paper books, there were, paper magazines, and you had no other choice to access those material but to come here. Now you can, by way of the library's webpage, access the library from any place with any number of devices. So if you want to say foot traffic has declined, then that's probably true.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not so sure it's accurate to say use of library resources has declined. So it's all in how you play with the numbers and what you're trying to show. But I still think the library is, or I hope it's still a vibrant place in students' life. It's just different than it was when I began.
In the library, there are both computers and book stacks at the disposal of the students. Which of the two are in use most often?
Most students probably want to read a print book. We've had not very much success with recreational reading online. However, if you are doing some research, you're probably going to start and use a computer or an electronic book. Although there still are students, when they see that the best resource is an electronic book, they're not really happy. They like to still use a book. But so I think it depends on the student, it depends on what they're doing. Certainly an interesting figure is we now have, I'm going to say 130,000 electronic books available and only 60,000 print books available. So you can see that the balance has changed, but it just depends on what someone needs and how they like to work. And we're not at all prescriptive.
Are there ways, as time goes on, and you mentioned the ebooks, which is an expanding resource, and technology develops, that you modernize the library so that it keeps up with those innovations? I've heard rumors that you might be getting a selfie stick in the library.
Right. Well, I think that I've been here 40 years, and I think I've reinvented myself any number of times. The library has reinvented itself numerous times. When I started, we had no group study rooms. I mean, it's just hard to imagine a high school library without study rooms. So we reallocated space to give group study rooms. Now there are places around campus where students can go and find group study rooms in Lamphere, in the new thing. So we probably won't emphasize, but a week ago the library got a 3D printer.
Wow.
So
Very exciting.
now there'll be the 3D printer will be available to people who just are curious, or maybe they'll have homework with 3D printing. So I think the library is a work in progress. I'd like to think we respond to what the curriculum demands, what students would like to see, and it's not the same place it was, and it just keeps changing. So I think it will keep changing.
And spitballing off of that, what do you think the library will be like 20 years from now?
Well, 20 years from now is a very, very long time. Just think how old you might be in 20 years and tell me if you can predict. So the future is very hard, especially with technology. I suspect that there will be, instead of group study rooms where kids are working silently with pencils and papers and computers, there will be spaces where the 3D printers are. I think kids will be creating things, and they will probably need spaces in the library to create it. The other thing is, I think, how do we know where the technology is going to be. Maybe your robot will be carrying your iPad around for you. Maybe you'll be talking into your, you might be reading your homework from your Google Glasses. I'm not sure where it will be in 20 years, but I think it will be different, very different than it is now. But hopefully, the library will continue to support the students, whatever their needs are, and be a comfortable place where they can come, get their work done, or maybe just relax from all of the hubbub